Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel Code and Tech. My name is Shivandhar and I'm bringing you another episode of Tech Weekends. And to support this channel, please make sure to like this video and subscribe to the channel. In case if you find this content helpful, make sure to share it with your friends. Today with me I have Miss Ankita Saloni. She has been doing astonishing work in different communities. She is the lead of DSC at her campus and also a GitHub campus expert. And today she is going to take you to the journey of voice, from explaining how voice works through building Alexa skills, and also she will take start from the very basics of what is voice and how it is used to the very end of that, how Alexa can help you to build in a community wise also. So make sure to watch this full video.
Hello everyone, my name is Ankita Saloni. I am a pre-final year student of Computer Science and Engineering. I'm also a Google DSC lead, a Generation Google Scholar, and a GitHub Campus expert. Today, we'll be building our first ever Alexa skill, and this is a beginner-friendly session. So if you haven't built any skill yet, don't worry, it's the perfect time and you can get started. So let's start. So today, we'll be building skills and we'll learn more about voice technology and how it's affecting our lives, day-to-day lives. So it's me. My name is Ankita Saloni. I'm Google DSC lead, a Generation Google Scholar, and Amazon Alexa community chapter lead. I'm a former machine learning intern at Omdana. Also, I'm a GitHub campus expert and an author. So let's talk about conversations and how these things take place in day-to-day lives. So generally, people converse automatically, but computers don't. Why? Because people have brains. When you are having a conversation with your friend, it's generally like they know how to respond, what's going on, what's the context, but computer does not know. It may be possible that you are referring something that happened 2 days ago or 5 years ago, or some event that is specifically related, maybe your birthday, maybe your anniversary, anything like that. So they can automatically catch, okay, this event happened there. But what about computers? Can they? No, they can't. So what distinguishes conversation from simple communication? It's a question for later on. So human conversational partners can construct meaning based on shared context, evolve the data sets upon which they draw, converge on increased understanding of each other's intentions, and remember novel information beyond a given conversational session. But does these things remain same with a computer? The answer is no. So now the scenario has been changing. The voice represents the next major disruption in computing. But let's talk about what is voice computing. Voice computing is the discipline that develops hardware or software to process voice inputs. That generally everything is based on voice. Whatever you are speaking, it's based on voice. Whatever the response is coming, that's based on voice. So basically, it's the shift from text to voice. Now, what is Alexa? Since we are building Alexa skills today, so we should be familiar about the Alexa ecosystem. So Alexa is a virtual assistant AI technology which can play audio, control your smart home, answer questions, engage your favorite services, and much more. You can also use the Echo Dot and Fire Stick TV and other services, and also some third-party apps. Then, what is a conversational AI? The conversational AI is the set of technologies behind automated messaging and speech-enabled applications that offer human-like interactions between computers and humans. So, VUI. Does anyone have any idea what is VUI? A VUI, or we can say a voice user interface, makes spoken human interaction with computers possible using speech recognition to understand spoken commands and answer questions, and typically text to speech to give a reply. Like you are speaking something, the computer is processing that, it understands that, and it will process it and give you a reply. Since you have asked something in voice format, it will convert that text into voice and will reply in the very same manner. What is ASK and SDK then? Generally, ASK, like in this context, it refers to Alexa Skills Kit. It is a software development framework that provides self-service APIs and tools which you can use to build Alexa skills. And the SDKs, or we can say the software development kits. These are the tools and libraries that give you programmatic access to Alexa features for building custom skills. Like these are the things, these are, you can say, the blueprints or the code templates or documentation or APIs tools, everything that you will use and that you can use to build Alexa skills. How about a quick introduction about wake word, invocation name, intent, slot, utterance? We will discuss about it, but yeah, later on in the session. So we are all set to explore now. As we can see, in the 70s, there was a character mode. Things started changing gradually and it shifted to GUI, or you can say graphical user interface. Then boom, and web happened, and it made the world even more closer. But it had one problem. It was like not that much portable. They were very heavy machines, and it was not very much convenient to move around with them. Then came the era of mobiles, like something from this to this, which can fit in your pocket and you can go anywhere with them. The communication was even more easy. And now with voice, it has been, the scenario has been completely changed. ASR, automatic speech recognition accuracy, has dramatically increased in the last 4-5 years. This inflection point has created sustained momentum in consumer adoption of voice technology. As you can see here, the accuracy of this ASR was 50%, like even less. Then it started increasing and increasing, then 55, then 60, then 62, then 70. Then at one point, it even surpassed the human accuracy. And at times, the voice can comprehend things, like this technology can comprehend things that even human fails to. This is how it's leading a change in our lives. And we can see that Alexa is growing fast. So 15 supported countries, 150 plus products, Alexa inbuilt, 28,000 plus products that work with Alexa skills, and thousands and hundreds of Alexa developers. This stat is from December 2019. And we can assume that, yes, things have been changed exponentially in the past 1.5 years. So these are some of the sectors that work with Alexa. As we can see, it has news, entertainment. We can book our cabs. We can order food. We can, like our traveling experience, or anything like Practo and TVs and cartoons, music, everything. All of them work with Alexa and all of them support Alexa to ensure that we have a seamless experience working with them. So now let's talk about building for voice with Alexa. What is actually a skill? It is a combination of voice user interface and programming language. The voice user interface, everything happens in two ways. Like there is a front end and there is a back end. The user is interacting with the front end, but what's happening in the back end, this is only known by the developers or someone who has in-depth knowledge. In a similar way, how a skill will behave, how a skill will work, it depends on the programming logic. So this is from developeramazon.com, while the backend work like the programming logic and everything, it's hosted on AWS as Amazon Web Services. So as we can see, here is the user. Let's assume that we have a question. We need to ask something. So we send the audio to the Alexa, like, hey Alexa, tell me something about this. Then the audios goes here from here. Then it is processed using speech recognition, machine learning, natural language understanding. So what actually happens is that whatever the user speaks is utterance. It is then worked upon by machine learning in NLP and is then converted into intent. Then the request is sent. Let's assume that this is the skill. So it will, process that. Like you ask something from someone, like there is a friend, there is some friend of yours. You've asked a question. Now you expect a reply from him. So let's assume, when is your birthday? So the friend will reply that, yeah, it was on 23rd of November. So what you asked from him, it was the question. What he replied or she replied was the answer. In a similar way, Alexa works. So it gets back, these are the cards, and this again goes back to the user. So wake word. We generally say Alexa, Alexa, computer. These are some, activate Alexa. Then here, the utterances are then converted to intent using speech recognition, machine learning, and natural language understanding. Let's see how ASR or automatic speech recognition works. Let's suppose we have said 40 times. How will the computer understand or differentiate like what the user is expecting them to? It can be 40 times, like 40. It can be 40 times, like for tea breaks and sessions. Or it can be for tea times, like for playful times and all. Or 40 times. So this is where everything like the NLP and ASR, everything comes into play. So yeah, here we say Alexa. Alexa, ask restaurant finder for breakfast. So in this, Alexa is our wake word. Ask, or you can say ask, open, begin, start. These are used to launch, to tell Alexa that, you need to interact with the skill and it will open the skill for you. Then the invocation name for skill. And then you give the utterance, like what you need from that skill. So in this, we say, Alexa, ask restaurant finder for breakfast. You can mean a good breakfast place, or to find places to eat in the morning, or a spot that serves the most important meal of the day. So everything here that you speak, it means the same thing, that you're asking for breakfast and you're asking Alexa to find a restaurant for breakfast, a place that where you can eat or where you can order your breakfast. So as we discussed before, this is how it works: utterances and intents, a good breakfast place, where to eat breakfast, to find places to eat in the morning. These are all the recommendation intent. So here is the slot. This is how it comes into play. Recommend a restaurant within 4 miles. Now it will check that what is the slot. It's saying 4 miles. So here 4 is our slot. So it will find a restaurant which is in the range of 4 miles. No, not more, just within 4 miles, 4 or less than that. So it will look for it and will only return the, only return the responses that are within 4 miles, like that fulfill this particular criteria. Here the distance is 4, that we can say is the slot value. Another example, tell me about Italian food within 4 miles. So here we have 2 slots. One is the Italian food and another one is 4 miles. So it will check, for example, it will check the internet, like it will check that how many restaurants are present, what is the range, like what is the distance, and what type of food do they serve. It can be Italian, it can be continental, it can be Chinese, it can be Indian, anything. And the distance can vary too, like 4 miles, 2 miles, 1 mile, 10 miles, 8 miles. So it will only return the responses that fulfill both the criteria. That is, it should be both Italian and it should be within 4 miles. If it is Italian and not within 4 miles, it won't return it to the user. And if it is within 4 miles and not Italian, the very same thing will happen. It should be both within 4 miles and Italian food. So yeah, the distance value is 4 and the cuisine is Italian food. Then after like it happens, like the response is sent back to the user and text to speech comes into play. Like we have asked Alexa in the speech format. Whatever processing, whatever is happening, it's happening in the text format, like in the computer, computer's language. But since we have asked in the voice format, it will reply back in the voice format as well. And for that, text to speech comes into play. It's SSML or speech synthesis markup language and TTS, text to speech. With these two things, it will convert the text into voice and will give the response back to us. One thing that I'd like to mention is that there's a new feature in Alexa, like if someone is sleeping, like in your house, if your parents are sleeping and if your friend comes, there is very high chance that you guys will whisper. You'll talk softly and slowly so that you won't end up waking up your parents. In a similar fashion, Alexa can do this too. Like you want it to talk, if you want it to talk, you want it to whisper in a similar fashion, you can just tell it and like you can just whisper and it will whisper back. Isn't it amazing? So under the hood, like how things work, let's take a working example. So the user asks, Alexa, is it hot outside? There is a signal processing that takes place. It's called beamform signal. Then the wake word detection, the on-device processing takes place, the audio stream, and then the ASR comes into play. And from there, speech to text. Like earlier, we talked about text to speech. Here, we have given input in the voice format. It will be converted into text, which will be then processed into like through NLP, natural language understanding. So here, the skill, it is sent to the skill, like it's get weather, and it will check the location. For example, I'm based in Delhi. It will take the location of Delhi, and then it will reply back. The weather in Delhi is like cold or humid or hot or sunny, like that. So this is how uh, we can, this is how we'll use a skill, and this is how Alexa responds to our requests. So before we start building a skill, there are few things to keep in mind. First thing, ask yourself, why are you designing the skill? There can be various reasons, like you want it to be for trivia, you want it to be some informational purpose, you want it for fun or entertainment, you want it for like some shopping or ordering something, anything. So if it's clear to you that why you are designing that skill, what is your requirement, then you'll end up designing things in a much better way. Like when your why is clear, the how becomes obvious in a very same way. So while designing a skill, you have to ensure a few things, and it should be user friendly, it should be easy to remember, like not something too complex that the user will end up forgetting, and not something that the user won't like. The experience matters a lot. And if your experience, the user experience won't be good, there are very high chances that the audience or the users will not use it again. Plus personable, it should be able to work the way it is supposed to do. Like if it's supposed to tell the birthdays or count days from the birthday, it should be able to. It's not like they have to tell them every time that my birthday is this and this is what I need to do, and like it becomes an infinite loop. Also, prioritizing your audience is one of the most important things that we should do before building a skill. It's always good to have a general idea of the audience. Who is your audience going to be? What does they require? Like their background, interest, etc. Plus their requirement from the skill. As I said before, if the requirement is clear, then we'll be able to design something which is really good and serves the purpose. Then let's start building. Starting with the favorite things of developers. So here we go. So let's try creating a skill. Let's say hello developers, because basically we all are. And then India. So you can use any name for the skill, and for the primary locale, like the language and country, we have chosen English India. So there are various pre-built models which we can use and add to our skills. Here is flash briefing, like you can use it for the news to tell them, Alexa, tell me what's the news. For smart home, to connect it with your home and to, manage the appliances. Or video, like for the video content. So let's go with the custom. You can also choose the method to host the skills backend resources. So by default, it's Node.js, but you can also use Python, or you can also use your own. So create a skill. Generally takes few minutes. Yeah. So there are a lot many options. Like you can use you can have a fact skill to tell something about facts, facts and trivia. You can have a game skill. You can have a pet tail skill. You have a scheduling skill, which can which you can use to schedule your appointments on calendars, receive email confirmations and all. You can use it for survey purpose. You can use it to Alexa conversation, like basically a hello world skill. A pizza ordering example, like you can use it to order, or a weatherbot skill. So let's say you chose this, continue with the template. So let's wait. Creating your Alexa hosted skill, it will take about a minute. So it will create a voice model and, will make everything ready for you to just check that is it working fine and approve. It generally takes 1 to 2 or 3 minutes, depending on your internet connection and what type of skill are you building. So let's wait. So it has been finished and the model has been building. In the meantime, we'll just check other things, like it's the invocation name. So invocation name is something by which you call your skill. For example, we'll go there. It's change me. So we'll obey and we'll change the name. Say We'll save it. You can see skill saved successfully. Then we'll go back. Intents, samples, and slot. So you can use either a custom intent or the standard one that has been in the Alexa's built-in library. We'll not do anything as of now because we are building a very, very basic skill. So it will take a few minutes before it builds, and then we can actually go to the build model. Then let's check the endpoint. It's all about the backend. Like here you can see the skill ID. The skill ID is unique for each and every ID. And the endpoint is here, AWS Lambda ARN. The best part about Lambda is that you don't have to do anything. Just give them the code and it will do everything for you, like how you want your skill to perform, the execution, everything. Everything is like, you have that reliable friend with, on whom you can rely that, okay, I'll give my assignment to him, he'll do everything, and I'll take a nap of 4 hours. So the very reliable person is AWS Lambda here, and we don't have to do anything. Everything is like being managed by him. So it is the region wise, you can say, options here. Default region, North America, Europe and India, and Far East. So if you are going to change anything, like you're using anything, you're hosting it on your own or any other thing, then you have to change it here. And it will basically decide how your skill will perform or how your skill will interact with the user. So let's go back and let's wait. So in the meantime, I'll tell everything. Here is the name of your skill. It's the build option. Like you can see each and everything that is required: invocation, interaction model, beta testing, everything. Then the code part, you can see the code, like whatever code is being used in the backend, you can see it here. Then test, you can test your skill here. You can see how it's working, how it is, like uh what do you say, interacting with the user. Because basically it depends on two things. First of all, it's your logic, what logic have you build it on. And the second thing is, how well is it performing, like what's the user experience, is user enjoying using it or something else. Depends on that. So it's very important to take proper feedbacks from the users and change your skill accordingly so that it won't become outdated or like the user experience downgrades a bit. So the distribution, certification, analytics. So once you think that your skill is ready to go, ready to launch, what you will do, you'll have to submit it. And then Amazon have basically, various bars, and it will check that how useful your skill is. Is there anything that your skill lacks, or is there any skill that has been probably in the market before it and it's the very same? Based on various parameters, it will then accept or reject that skill, and you will get a notification about that. After it, you can publish it, and users can test your skill and can interact with it in the Alexa skill store. So yeah, plus here is the analytics. You can check how many people have used your skill, and like how well is it performing, how good is it doing. We're waiting for building model to finish. Okay, as we can see, our model has been built successfully. So yeah, we can check it here. So you will be notified when the model build is complete. Dismiss. So in build model, it generally does everything. Like it will build a model and will tell you how it will work, and it will give a notification saying that yes, it has been built, and you can you see it and can make all the necessary changes based on it, how your skill will work. So here is the code part. As we can see, there are Lambda license notice. Like it's not very much like necessary things, but yeah, if you're using something, if you're building something that you want to keep exclusive, So you can add a license to that. Then there is like basically it has JS and JSON files. So here it is. This is how, like, handler input, how your request will be handled, how things will be done. Like you are asking something you're asking something from your friend. Let's say you're asking for a pen. There is a very important test. You're asking for a pen from your friend, and there can be two responses. It can be either yes or no. If your friend, let's assume that yeah, he's your best friend, he won't lie or she won't lie. So if they have a pen, they'll give you, the answer will be yes. And if they don't have a pen, unfortunately you don't have anything, then there will be no. So this is how the request will be handled and what will be their reply. So for the scenario of a best friend, let's assume that the by default answer you will take is yes. So this is the way how things work here as well, and everything is in the form of JSON. um, you can see, like, if you are quite a beginner with this, then it might sound a bit complicated, but once you'll get into building skills and all, then you won't find it that much tricky or that much sophisticated. How to handle errors, like you have trained your friend to answer about pens, and you are asking something that is out of context, like you are asking apples or oranges or banana. So that will cause us an error, like they don't know what should be the answer. It's a test. You're supposed to ask for a pen, you're asking for a fruit or vegetable or anything, it will result into an error. So in a very same manner, they should know how to handle that error. So in the very similar manner, how each and every request will be handled, what will be the output, everything will be mentioned here. So yeah, here is deploy. Like if you want to make any changes, if you want to change the reply or anything, you can change it. Let me just have a look. Something, it's not here. So yeah, if you want to change anything, you can change. If not, you can just deploy it, and you have to deploy it before testing your skill. As you can see, deployment initiated, Lambda deployment initiated, and we will let you know once we finish. So the deployment is in progress, and yes, the deployment is successful. So now we'll go to test. So test is disabled for this skill. You cannot test it until and unless it's in development. So now you can interact with your skill. Either you can write your input or you can use a microphone. So by the time it gets completed, we'll resume with our slides. So, oh no, sorry. So we were at building skills. Yeah. So yeah, we'll assume that we have created our first Alexa skill. So congratulations to all of you if you're still here. And then another one, let's talk about another skill, Cakewalk. So if you want to know more about it, you can just go in the link here, alexa.design/cakewalk. And what it does, Cakewalk is a skill that celebrates your birthday. Tell it your birthday to have it count down the days. Like you are telling it that your birthday is on 16th of Jan. So it will count the days. For example, today is 22nd of July. So it will count the days up to 16 Jan, and it will tell you that, okay, these many days are left. And it's basically counting each and every day for you. That's how much Alexa loves you. Interact with the skill on your special day to hear a happy birthday message. So for example, it's 16 Jan. And I'm thinking that Alexa forgot that I told her that my birthday is on 16 Jan. But no. She does not forget. She's like girls, they don't forget anything. And if you'll interact with her on that day, so she'll even tell you happy birthday, or maybe some sweet birthday message or a wish, anything. So what it does actually. So let's get into a bit more technical terms. As we all know how it works, so this is the basic workflow, how things work. You speak something, there is your question, then it gets worked and processed, then Alexa has some question, then it processed again, whatever you reply, it gets processed again, and then Alexa replies whatever you need to hear, like the answer of your question. So these are the flow charts. Like if you are in CS or any technical background, you know that how flow charts work. Like if there is yes, this is how things are going to be. If there is no, this is how things are going to be. If the output is not known, these are the questions that you need to ask. So this is the flow chart, but flow charts are not conversational. If you're designing for conversation, let's start with a script. So right now, let's take the context is that birthday is unknown. The user will say, Alexa, open Cakewalk. The Alexa will say, hello, welcome to Cakewalk. What is your birthday? User will say, I was born November 7th, 1983. Then Alexa will reply, thanks, I remember that you were born November 7th, 1983. So now the birthday is known. Since the user have told that is my birthday, the Alexa will remember. And next time you'll tell Alexa, Alexa, open Cakewalk, then she'll say, welcome back. There are 219 days until your 36th birthday. So if you like, puzzles and all, you can also calculate what was the day when the user asked Alexa this question. But yeah, that's just for your brain, exercise. I love these things. So the main question, it's not to be or not to be, but it's that who led the conversation? Was it Alexa or the customer? The customer leads the conversation. So the situation was that birthday was unknown. The first in was user. He said, Alexa, open Cakewalk. Then Alexa asked, since Alexa didn't know, Alexa asked, what is your birthday? In the second turn, user told that this is my birthday and Alexa remembered it. So we can have a look at this. This is the utterance, open Cakewalk. This is what user asked Alexa to open Cakewalk. The first situation was that birthday was unknown. Then what was the response of Alexa? Like what did Alexa said to the user? It said, hello, welcome to Cakewalk. Prompt. Prompt is the question that Alexa asked from the user. And the prompt was that, what is your birthday? Because the context is that, the situation is that birthday is not, it's unknown. So yeah, this is what I told based on the situation card. Utterance is what the user said. Situation is the context. Response is what Alexa said. And the prompt is the question that Alexa asked. So we are representing each turn with a card. Yeah. So after that, utterance was that I was born November 7th, 1983. So now the situation has changed. Earlier, Alexa didn't know the birthday. Now it knows the birthday. So the situation has changed. The birthday was unknown, but now the birthday is known. So the response, what Alexa said to the user was that, thanks, I remember that you were born November 7th, 1983. See you later, alligator. It's just for the beauty of sentence. So now the prompt is nothing. Like there is no more questions need to be asked. Earlier, when birthday was not known, Alexa had to ask, when were you born? If the user does not tells, by his or her own will, then Alexa has to ask, because Alexa has to calculate. If you don't know the birthday, you don't know how many days are left. And for that, you need birthday to calculate how many days are left. So in a similar fashion, if it's not by default known, Alexa will ask. But in this scenario, Now Alexa knows that this is, these many days are left for the birthday. So now there are no more questions need to be asked. So yeah, again, it's the very same thing. How each and every, how each and every conversation, like each and every response or utterance leads to the conversation, and how the conversation is built. The very same question that, we were talking in the beginning, communication and conversation. So how each and every statement we give, how utterance, how intent leads to the entire conversation. Utterance, situation, how it changed the situation, the responses, the prompt, again, if there were any changes in the situation. And this is how it goes on. If there are like, if it was only one thing, like it was only the birthday that needs to be asked. If there is something that requires 4 or 5 such things, then the conversation will be relatively longer. Identifying the necessary information. Like out of all this, the necessary information was November 7th, 1983, because one of it is month, the second one is date, and the third one is the year. So underlined slots. These are the slots, as we said, there are some specific slots. In the first example, like find me the restaurants that serve Italian food in within 4 miles. So there were slots. The Italian was slot and the 4 were slots. In a similar way, here the slots are the date, month, and year. November 7th, 1983, to make sure that the birthday function, birthday skill works properly. Let's build a skill in 5 minutes. Let's check that whether it has been, the build has been successfully done or not. Oh no. So, and yes, it has been done. So let's go to the test part and let's see if it works. Finger crossed. So we can see that it's working. So it's asking my favorite color. I'll not let that be a secret. So yeah. It's taking time. As we can see, it was the very basic Hello World skill. So I just said open hello developers, and it greeted me with welcome to the conversation started sample. What's your favorite color? So this is how Alexa leads the conversation. Like once you have initiated it, asked me what my favorite color is. I told her purple. And now it says, great, I recorded your favorite color as purple. What would you like to do? So this is how things work. This is how things happen in the input. Like, as I said, everything takes place in the form of JSON files. So this is how things work as the input. And this is how it works in the output. This is the input file. This is the output file. And based on that, you can have a conversation with Alexa. Either you can type or you can use a microphone in any ways, and it will respond in a similar fashion. So let's get back and check other things. So we were talking about the cakewalk. So let's finish it first. So these are various things like how you can host your backend resources. You can use Node.js, SDK, Python, or Java. Plus, there are Lambda functions, CloudWatch logs, S3 bucket, IAM role, and DynamoDB table. Provisioning your web services. As we saw that when it comes to backend, when you need to host it, you can either have your own or you can have Node.js or Python or anything. So by default, it's Node.js. So we went with that. Then again, it's a bit more technical part, how you can handle the input, how everything's working, handle the request, like the pen and the fruits conversation. Like if it has, it will reply yes. If it does not has, it reply no, and how you need to handle the errors. This is how everything happens in the backend. Collect slots turn by turn. So yeah, follow-up questions. So as we discussed it before, utterance, situation, response, prompt, then again utterance, how the situation changed, like hello, welcome to Cakewalk, what is your birthday? Utterance is November 7th. Situation, now capture birthday intent. It has been captured. Now the month is known, the day is known, but the year is unknown. Then again, response. I was born in 2015. What year were you born? So now the user told, like we don't have to ask the question. It was something that came from the user. No, sorry. Yeah, I made a mistake here. So yeah, they need to ask a question if the month and day is known and the year is unknown. So through that, there was a response, and then there came a utterance. Like the user replied, I was born in 1983. So now month is known, day is known, year is known. So as I said that if the user does not answer or the user does not tells the information by their own, then Alexa can ask the follow-up questions. And this is how it leads the conversation now. How to achieve auto delegation, like what you can do for these skills, like for leading the conversation. You can define the slots, like how for the birthday part, how things need to work. You need month, day, year. So it can be in the form month and day. The user can tell only month and day. They can tell month, day, and year. They can tell month, year. I was born on month and day. I was born on month, day, and year. And this is how these are the various ways in which the user can tell their date of birth or birthday to Alexa. Then slot filling. Now the question is this slot required to fulfill the intent? Like if you're asking about birthday, so you need to have that information. Like if the user is saying I was born at this place, like this day and this place. So for birthday, the date is required and not the place. So here the date becomes mandatory and the place is secondary things. If you know, fine. If you don't know, then also fine. But the date, like entire DOP, is very important. Otherwise, you won't be able to determine the birthday. Then Alexa speech prompts. How Alexa will prompt the user. Like I was born in November. When were you born? What month were you born? Like how Alexa will ask the questions. And choose a delegation strategy. Let Alexa automatically determine and complete each step of the dialogue based on your dialogue model. Your skill gets a single intent request when the dialogue is complete. You can override this setting at an intent interval. So here Alexa will automatically lead the conversation based on the dialogue model. Skill certification. So for publishing the skills, there is a section where you can publish your skill. We'll talk about it. Like we'll see a demo how these things work. First of all, you need to describe your skill. What is your skill? What is it about? How it works? Then you have to provide up to 3 example phrases, like how the user is going to respond, how Alexa is going to respond to what the user is asking, what they are requesting. Then you have to provide a large and small icon which will be used for your skill. Must prove you own any IP or copyrighted material. Like you cannot use something that has someone else claim on it. So you have to be very cautious about this. So invest time in your metadata, skill icon, skill example utterances for helping users start out, skill description for instruction, tips, frequently asked questions, context, and skill keywords for discoverability. Like keywords are also very important. These are, these keywords will help the user identify or to search for your skills. For example, if your skill is something about books, then you should have proper keywords for it. Otherwise, user won't be able to know it, that this skill is about books. They will only be able to know it once you use proper keywords that match with the skill. Then leverage the beta functionality. So you feel like you're a person like me, you're quite shy and feel that, okay, if you publish a skill which is not, you're not that much pro developer, and you feel that it won't be good if you'll, publish it right now, and you want someone to use it. You want the people, the developers who are there, the users who are there, to use your skill and to give you honest feedback so that you can improve on it, rather than a random stranger yelling at you that why the hell you created that skill. So what you can do, the beta testing has been a boon for all of us. So you can give access to skill beta testers by adding the email address. Once beta test is enabled, you can continue to edit your skill until you are ready to submit your skill for Amazon review. So you can give up to 500 users early access to your skill, and they can give you a feedback that how it works, how perfect is the programming logic, and how well, how great is the user experience. So the skill certification guidelines, as we know, the bar is very high for that, because there are hundreds and thousands of skills, and a lot of people are developing skills, because as we just saw, it's really easy to create skills. So there is a huge competition, and to make sure that the right skill reaches the right place, Amazon will test your skill for functionality, content guidelines policy, security, and voice interface. So it's quite important to focus on each and every part of this. Then there are, let's talk about some common certification failures, which can be incorrectly worded example phrases, like they are not correct. Intent response errors, like you have provided something else and the skill is doing something else. Infringement on intellectual property, like something that you don't own the copyrights for. And invocation name guidelines not met, like one word invocation name not allowed, and doesn't follow tokenization guidelines. Example, use KBC quiz instead of KBC. Like there are gaps and dots between that. So it treats this KBC and this KBC as different words. So let's talk about developer incentives. What are the perks of developing skills? So these are some of the developer incentives. This is AWS promotional credits, and Alexa developer rewards, and monthly incentive programs. So these are the links. You can know more about it by going at the respective links. Yeah, and this is something that you need to focus on. Like it is based on the region. So for developers based in India, make sure you go to the India part, like India region awards. Then promotional credits, $100 in credits when you publish your first skill, and additional $100 per month if your skill incurs AWS usage charges. So you can know more about it going on AWS credits. Then developer rewards program. Developers of skill with the highest customer engagement are paid monthly. Like you will be paid on monthly basis if you have created a skill that generates traffic and is loved by people. Only Indian developers publishing for the India Alexa Skill Store qualify. As I said, it varies and depends on the region. 8 eligible categories, engagement calculated based on factors like minutes of usage, new customers, recurring customers, sessions, and more. So you can know more about it by going at the reward section. Monthly developer incentives. Build new engaging skills and earn swag every month. And Alexa swags are like really cool. I just love the owl. Bonus incentive. Earn Sony PlayStation 4 if your new skill published in March gets over unique customers. So generally, it's about, these are things that took place before the lockdown. So now things might have changed. So like it's heavily suggested that you guys go to these pages, verify yourself, and you feel that if the developer programs are open, make sure to apply for it. Some tools for the developers. So these are some of the tools that the developers can use, such as Proactive Events API. The links are mentioned below this. Don't worry, each and every link will be posted, and you can use them accordingly to leverage more about Alexa Skills Kit. These are the reminders API for any reminder, for example, your messages or mails or events or anything like that. Customer Profile API for Snap Travel and KPT and Cook recipes. Then all new Python SDK. Alexa Skill Kit toolkit for Visual Studio Code. Fallback intent. And these are some of the resources. Like, you can go to these links, and if you'd like to learn more about Alexa and be a part of the communities, make sure that you have Alexa devs and Amazon Alexa subscribed, followed, or joined, anything, because it's a wonderful community. And being a part of Amazon Alexa community, a chapter, it was a very wonderful event. Like, I first came to know about Alexa in February 2020, when there was a Alexa Student Day hosted at Greater Noida. And then I was like really curious, because I'm more of a hackathon person who loves building new stuffs, and I'm more into the development side. And then I joined the Slack channel of Amazon Alexa community, and there I came to know about an opportunity that they were recruiting new chapter leads to become a part of their local chapters, and start new chapters, build more skills, know more about this. So I just applied, and that's how things took a turn for me. I learned more about voice technology and how these things are changing the scenario, how we can use voice to solve our problems, like, is the next big thing, and so much more. So it's totally a life-changing moment. It was a life-changing moment for me, and it can be for you. Just a year ago, I was completely new person. I did not knew anything. And right now, I feel that, there are a lot of things that I'm yet to learn. But yeah, the way I can communicate, the way I can interact, the way I can tell people about voice technology, it's like so empowering in itself. So that was all from my side. I hope that you guys enjoyed as much as I did taking this session. So if you'd like, you can connect with me on all these platforms like GitHub. You can mail me. You can read my blogs on Medium. You can connect with me on Twitter, though I'm not very much active. Or you can connect with me on LinkedIn. Thanks a lot for attending. So if you are at the end, if you watched entire session, then congratulations. You're going to be next Alexa influencer in your community. So stay safe, keep rocking. See you next time.
Thank you everyone for watching this video. I hope you like the content. I'll be back again with another video. Till the time, you can watch our previous videos. Thank you. Thank you again.